New York City has a crazy communist mayor, and he was largely elected at the behest of celebrities. But now those celebs, those movie stars, those artists, those musicians, they're getting ready to leave NYC. They can't believe he's coming after them. They can't believe communism, it turns out, doesn't work for rich folks like the movie stars. It's a great day. It's a groovy day, folks. Welcome back and happy Tuesday. We got a pro show coming out later today at noon. We hope you'll join us. But right now, it's time to zoom on in to the Big Apple, where Mayor Mamdani is busy selling apples at discount prices and driving grocery stores out of business. But that's not even the worst of his business. For you see, he thinks it's his business to dox his supporters, his movie star friends, and the celebrities are wishing all over again they had never adopted communism. He's the commie mayor, and all the celebrities wanted him to be in charge of NYC. Now they want to see their way out of the city. Why? Because the dude's crazy, because communists are crazy. That's why. Elon Musk posting this. Oh, the irony is too much. What is it? Well, it turns out, folks, if you want to use the free grocery stores, well, not free, the cheap grocery stores are going to run out the normal grocery stores. These are government grocery stores paid for by tax dollars. If you want to use these, you need a voter ID.
How are you going to keep people from taking advantage of that, that deal, basically? And is there going to be a limit on the number of items that someone can take that are discounted at that level from that essential basket?
So our RFP makes very clear that this is a program for New Yorkers to be able to put food on the table, not a program for people to be able to make a quick buck through reselling. I'm going to pass it over to our EDC head, GPAC, to add some additional details.
He doesn't want to say it. Hang on. But did you hear that? When you sell things for 30% lower than their normal market price, people can just go get them and then resell them for a normal price and make a profit, or 10% below or whatever. And not only will that, of course, be ludicrously corrupt, but also it's going to end grocery stores all over New York City, the normal grocery stores, the normal places that actually, function and make people have food and deliver goods and services. Yeah, they'll go out of business, and then you'll have your wonderful government grocery stores, commie stores, Commie Mart, right? Here's the lady who replaces him. Here's the thing about the voter ID.
Yes, if you look at our RFP for the operator, we are looking to make sure that we target New Yorkers, whether it be at sort of a library card-esque thing, and also we manage who's buying, and that is focused on everyday New Yorkers. So we are mindful of that, and so we're going to make sure that we have all the things in place to ensure that that does not happen.
Now,
no one has ever used someone else's library card.
Library card. You got to love these people. They're so scared because they've set up this system where they can't say that people actually have driver's licenses and they actually have proof of residence, because they've pretended that minorities and women don't have those things. And so because of that, they're going to check, Lauren, their library cards.
Well, it's something they can try. My worry here is that when you are a government agency and able to undercut the competition by 30%, you're essentially trying to drive business out of business. You're trying to become the sole provider of services. And as a government, you essentially have unlimited funds. You can actually do that. That's a big thing that I think that people who are hearing about this plan are probably not thinking about. The other thing is, I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if they've covered this. Would these groceries be tax exempt, sales tax exempt, or are they going to tax on something that you're already buying from the government?
There's no way that they are going to exempt these things from sales tax. I think I
love that. I love that they're not going to be exempting the thing bought with taxpayer money from taxes. Here's the thing
great. That, it's been brought up several times. It reminded me of a friend of mine who got his tax refund, and he said, the best part, tax-free, man. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. So there's a company that gives out free shoes for every shoe they sell, for pair of shoes that they sell in America. They would give away a pair of shoes in Africa. And this sounds really great until you consider the guys in Africa who are barely getting by selling shoes in Africa.
Right. The shoemakers in Africa have some thoughts on that.
Right. And the entirety of the companies, like they don't call the guy who runs the company, the CEO, he's like chief shoe giver.
Oh boy.
So they weren't, I don't know if they still do that. They probably ought not to. Ruining someone else's economy is generally not charity.
Well, let's go now to how the celebrities are responding to all of this, and not only the grocery stores. The celebs will not be going to the grocery stores, of course. But Right Angle News Network has this. Wealthy Zohran Mamdani voters are shocked. And who are the wealthy ones? Well, of course, the celebrities, the movie stars, the artists, the musicians, the politicians. You get the idea. They're shocked that they're being doxxed by the socialist mayor's new tax list, with leftist millionaire Scott Galloway stating that he supported Mamdani's new tax. And he doesn't understand why people like him are being targeted by communism. Here's some from the celebrities.
And I've been doxxed. I don't know if you've heard, but Mayor Mamdani has decided to release a list of the 950,000 residences with addresses and names.
Wait a minute. It's the uber elites. 950,000. 950,000, one would presume individuals, but we'll call it residences. 950,000. That's the top 1%, of course. I don't care if there are 20 million people in New York. I don't know the exact number that are specifically in New York versus the metro. I know the metro number. I don't know New York specifically. But 900,000 is not a small percentage. That's a big percentage of residences. Multiple people, you would assume, live in those residences. That is a big chunk. It's not the majority. It's not even close, but it's not insignificant. The 1%. No, it's not the 1%. Here's more.
Residences with addresses and names that might be eligible for his pied-à-terre tax. I came out in favor of this tax. He's taken a legitimate source of tax revenue and he's turning it into a wanted poster. And the question I would have is, other than trying to identify and imply these people have done something wrong, and then 18 months after a healthcare CEO was executed in the street,
which suddenly they don't think was such a great idea now that it's aimed at them,
and publish the list, what is the upside here? Why is he doing this?
Because he's a communist. Oh my gosh. When will you people learn? So, Lauren, they're learning right now. And who's going to be hurt by this? New Yorkers, because the celebs, the movie stars, the execs, the tech moguls, out of there. They're leaving. They're done with it. They voted this guy in. They Mark the Ruffalo comes in and begs you, the Hulk wants you to vote for the commie Mamdani. And now that he's there, they're all going to take their tents and leave.
Yeah, this is what leads to the death spiral, is that those people that are rich, they have the mobility to leave, and they will do so. It's like that you don't become a millionaire or a billionaire by being dumb with your money. You don't just allow people to take it. And you're going to do everything that you can to protect what you have built to the best of your ability. And when you have those kinds of assets, you have the ability to leave the place that is unfavorable to you. And that leaves only the people who can't leave behind. And the tax always magically expands to cover those people. And when that happens, things start getting really bad really fast, because those people don't have margin. A lot of them are only making it paycheck to paycheck if they're lucky now. And this is when all of your costs begin to spiral out of control, especially if you do put businesses out of business because you're competing with them in an unfair way. New York's going to be looking at some really hard times because of this. But in a way, sometimes these kinds of things are necessary. You have to. Some people live in a realm only of theory, and it's nice to have all these blue sky ideas of the utopia that they imagine, and no matter what kind of facts that you give to them, until they experience it, they will not learn. And so at this point, unfortunately, that means a lot of innocent people are going to get hit, but hopefully the real danger here is those rich people that are leaving that don't have to learn the lesson, that then bring their politics somewhere else. That's a problem, but sometimes you got to go through the experiment to prove again that this is the results you're going to get.
So, Jonas, we're an entertainment channel. We cover entertainment. New York City is the second biggest media market in the country. It's where so many of the shows and live network TV, where it comes from. It's the location of cable news channels, etc. My worry is that's going to be the argument for why the rest of the country has to bail this thing out after it is just devastated. When it turns into Detroit, by Mamdani. So what do you think about that, Jonas? The idea that we're all going to be paying for this, not just New Yorkers, at the end of the awful experiment?
Well, yeah, I think the problem is this is going to be something that happens slowly over time. I'd like to know how many of these things there are. I think this is not the grocery store one is not the only policy that's going to end up being a problem. Here, there's lots of things that this kind of a government can do that can still be a lot more destructive than a few free grocery stores. I think the doxing aspect of all this, that's the more worrisome one, because it underlies the attitude of struggle sessions and things like that, which we have had under cultural Marxism here, otherwise known as wokeness. We've seen people go into struggle sessions. This is the kind of thing where it's tip of the iceberg. The grocery stores are going to fail. They're either going to lower the quality of the products there, or they're going to force people from using the other grocery store. Getting into specifics, somebody's always going to say you're crazy. They will never do that specific thing, but communism is a pernicious philosophy that they will look around for someone to blame for their problems, because it's politics in its absolute worst and most deadly form. So,
well, one thing seems to be true to me, Jonas. It would not surprise me if entertainment companies are fleeing very soon. I think the media is going to be dispersed across the country, and New York and California have done this to themselves. And after this is all over, it's going to be Detroit. No auto industry, no entertainment industry for NYC and California. I hate it for them, but we warned them, and they don't seem interested in slowing down, going off that cliff. We'll see what happens. But right now, the celebrities are saying, we can't believe you're coming after us. This wasn't supposed to happen in communism. Well, you've made it to the end of the video, and that means you are a true pal of Pro. Thank you so much for watching the entire thing, ladies and gentlemen. And we ask that you consider clicking that like button. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And remember, folks, we've got more content yet on the way. The drive-bys can't handle what we have to say. But we never stop, not for a minute, because we want to win it for you. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.